the bottom left. That is how I took my guns across the Cmde River, about 75 or 50 meters wide, against enemy action when there was no bridge. And I managed to get 2 rafts and crossed with my 1 battery of guns, and the others followed when the bridge was made after 8 hours. So I had to take a decision, and I thought this was the best. So this is a decision which one has to take. You will take it in the corporate sector also. So I just thought I'll mention this. There's no one to guide you in war. There are no books to be opened and checked. What does the book say? Nothing. It's your own instinct, and you got to take calculated risks.
What was main challenges you face in the war of 1970? Because right now, in all forces, a lot of weapons are present at times or not. So can you explain about your challenges?
Yeah. 53 years ago, we didn't have any mobiles, no WhatsApp, all this. Even today, you see, we had nothing. Today you got GPS to find out where you're going. We had nothing. Radio sets, we had huge sets, 62 and HM30, which the army used to carry. We had no such things. There was no satellite imagery. There was nothing. The weapons we had, they were from 2 blocks. One of the eastern bloc from the Russian guns we had. Some missiles had come in, the Grad BM-21 rockets. Then we had some guns from Yugoslavia, 105 and 76 millimeter. I'm telling about the artillery. Even the rifles and all were, they were automatic. They were definitely better than what we fought in the Chinese war. But from the Western bloc, we had British guns. So we didn't have enough adequate maps also. So you are absolutely right. Today, you youngsters don't move around without a mobile. You don't move around without WhatsApp and some, I don't know, all sorts of things. You have Instagram. We had nothing of the sort. So things were quite primitive in that way. But yet we fought the war and we were successful. And we captured 93,000 prisoners, which no army has ever done, even in the Second World War.
Sir, I would like to ask you, Agniveer Yojana is now going on. So, what are your views on that?
The Agniveer scheme is to be tested, but unfortunately, what happens is there have been some Agniveers who have not been deployed, and fratricide has taken place. So it's a mixed bag, and we'll have to wait because it involves a formal government decision.
What are the war teachings that have also helped you in the corporate world?
Very good question. The first thing is that I rather inculcated that in the employees that they get unhappy with the boss very quickly. So I told them that should be stopped, and you can't leave, or attrition can't take place just because a few things don't suit you, which we managed to curtail attrition by nearly 20% in the company where I was. So one is to learn to accept your boss and work with him, and also work as a team together, because no individual person is going to contribute significantly unless there's a team effort. Secondly is decision making. We in the armed forces take decisions which involve the lives of men. In the corporate sector where you will step in, you will take decisions or give suggestions which will involve cost to the company and which will involve enhancing your business. And the third most important point is the camaraderie. Camaraderie and bonding, and the ability to achieve levels that are compatible to the entire organization. You can't have one department reaching the finishing line and the other department, falling behind. An important point in the armed forces we have is succession planning. It is already there. So there is something known as running the extra mile, what we in the armed forces call it resolute combat potential. That means when you touch the finishing line, if you're told to run 500 meters more, you should be able to run. That is what is important in the corporate sector. People shouldn't say, "Mera kaam ho gaya, 8 ghanta ho gaya, main ghar ja raha hu." No. For the organization, if you have to stretch, you must stretch and reach those targets.
Why is Pakistan always trying to
be offensive and keep irritating India.
I think there is one reason is Jammu Kashmir. There is one part.
No, that is just an aim. That's just one incident. But the mindset down there is ever since 1947. And they think that they should get this or they should get that. If you think that after Kashmir is say sorted out, they will keep quiet. I don't think so. They're going to keep quiet. They will think of something else. They will say Junagadh. After that, Junagadh will say Hyderabad, and then so on. But why is that happening? So that is a cultural issue which happens with them, and an ideological concept of this whole geopolitical security scenario. Why is China doing what they're doing? They say border dispute, but it is much more than that. What is more is that India is rising. So as India rises, so they want to keep India down.
Sir, what are the 5 important skills or lessons you learned during your army training period that you think have helped you a lot in your life?
In a disciplined sort of manner. So I don't know any better. So that's why when I go around the streets and I see that people do something wrong, it affects me. And I wish that all of you are also affected in a similar manner and ensure not only do anything wrong, but make sure others also do the right thing.
Why it is said that other countries have better training than India?
Other countries are better training than India. I don't agree with you, I'm sorry. India has better training than most. Let me give you some examples. Previously, we used to go to other countries. I myself set up the staff college at Iraq. And why did they call us? They could have called the Pakistanis, they could have called the Americans, they could have called them, but they called us down there to set them up. And that was in '88. And in our country, we've always had in the National Defense Academy or the Staff College a very wide range of foreign students now. Americans, Canadians, Australians, Britishers, third world countries, the global south countries, people from global south. We have, let me tell you, we are a very sought after country.
The operation to select, which was the main operation which was done at night. And we had trained for that, as was mentioned. But we had operated with 7 helicopters, 7 Me-4 helicopters. And the major drop which was done across the Meghna, that was done with 14 helicopters. And 6,000 troops, as mentioned, and one of the biggest Heliborne operations ever carried out in the history of India anyway, but also in the world at that point of time.
I want to ask the kind of wars are fought now and the kind of wars were fought at your time are quite different now. Like Russia and Ukraine war and Gaza wars. Yeah. Everything, whatever coming in between the like two countries, whatever is essential for human survival, everything is destroyed. What do you think? What will be the consequences of such wars now?
We were very fortunate that the Air Force of East Pakistan were completely wiped out by the time we started doing the night operations. And it was not there at all when we crossed the Meghna. Otherwise, it would have been even a little bit more difficult with air interference. Yes, wars today are very destructive, and I'm sure that some kind of peace should be found in this Ukraine war, definitely. Otherwise, more destruction will take place and more calamities across the world.
अगर हमारे पूरी वर्ल्ड की जो जीडीपी है उसमें से 10% सिर्फ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट और निगोशिएशंस एंड वॉर्स को सॉल्व करने के लिए यूज होता है. इवन इफ द वर्ल्ड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स डिक्रीज बाय 2%, सिर्फ अगर 2% से पूरे वर्ल्ड की कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स और वॉर्स को हम लोग डिक्रीज करते हैं तो द मनी सेव्ड विल बी एनफ फॉर द एड बजट दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड ग्लोबली. जो एड्स का बजट जाता है, यूएन एड देता है, बहुत सारी कंट्रीज एड्स देती हैं to the less marginal, to the marginalized countries and all, to the people who need it. तो सिर्फ 2% इस कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को कम करने से, दैट इज अगर 100% हो रहा है तो उस कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को सिर्फ 98% पर ले जाने के बाद में जो एंटायर एड का जो पैसा है वो सेव किया जा सकता है. So, in a nutshell, this is the cost of war. Now we are talking about artificial intelligence. The wars are changing. The way wars will be fought is changing. And in fact, काफी सारी theories ऐसी भी आती हैं कि COVID was actually a war weapon that was used. I am not quoting it. I am just some अफवाहें जो है. So what is going to be the future of war, and what is going to be the role that artificial intelligence will play into the way wars will be fought into the future?
The artificial intelligence drives the whole thing. What is artificial intelligence? It is answering or predicting on a set of data, is that right? Something like that. So, the whole data of all the war scenario that is possible is kept somewhere, and it gives you options that I should do this or I should not do this. Eventually, it is decision making. It gets all the information. There's an information glut. There is so much information that you cannot deal with. So the information comes from satellites, the information comes from other services, the information comes from the political environment, the information comes from other countries, and your own information. The whole thing must be mixed. That is what is the technological warfare that is happening.
Okay. So in case I target Tanishka and I feed some information and I tell that Tanishka needs to be shot, she might be moving, but then the target shoots her. Is it real?
It's much more real than that.
Oh my God. We keep on talking about logistics. We keep on talking about the supply chain, and logistics are going to be the thing of the future. All the businesses will run on logistics and supply chain, and all the businesses will be successful where the logistics and supply chain is taken care of. But again, when it's a time of war, logistics I think is one of the things that needs to be sorted out, and probably Air Force has lot of weight on their soldiers to ensure logistics, food, weapons, arms, ammunition reaches the post over there. So I want to understand that when it's a conflict or when it's war, how are logistics taken care of, and by how much period are the logistics choked by the difficult neighbor over there?
There are various factions what are happening. One is our current political leadership makes a big impact. And if your political leadership is well recognized as it is today, then I think that is one significant factor, definitely.
Who are the allies of India, and how this alliance has it shifted over a period of time is what probably the audience should know.
Yeah, the fact remains that Russia has been our ally also.
Is it really an unconditional ally and a friend of India?
Well, it appears to be like that.
Because now
They supported us in our times of need. Whenever we required it, Russia was always there. And that support is still there. I mean, I won't say it is.
It's not.
But that we must look at our own interests, and extract maximum benefit from that. From our relations with all these countries, and whatever narrative they seem to set, which is for their own good, that we should try and cover.